All right, everyone, welcome back. 50 Cent is back in the spotlight, this time over content that didn't make it into his Netflix documentary about Diddy. According to him, there was just too much material to fit into 4 episodes, so several major points had to be cut. One of these involved a personal connection that was left out due to time constraints. Rather than waiting for another season, 50 has suggested that the extra footage might be released on YouTube. Since the documentary aired, he claims more people have reached out with new insights, all wondering why he's pushing this so hard. Comedian T.K. Kirkland recently addressed this, dismissing the idea that it's about attention or drama and revealing a deeper, more personal reason behind 50's actions, one that explains why this story keeps growing.
All the women in the world that Diddy could have gotten with, he chose 50 Cent's baby mother.
It's a lot of variables to this particular question. Because I talk to a lot of people, older, younger, even my daughter, who's 22, she didn't understand it. So people give their opinion based on what they've experienced and their environment, people they've been around. So to the people that understand boundaries and respect, I always tell men you should never date another man's girl if you're not aware of it. If you know.
He stressed that crossing that line shows a serious lack of respect, noting that in his entire life, he has never knowingly been involved with someone connected to one of his friends, an unwritten rule he refuses to break. He pointed out that Diddy, with his fame, wealth, and global reach, has countless options, making the situation even more questionable. From T.K. Kirkland's perspective, this wasn't a coincidence or careless mistake, but a deliberate choice. Considering the long-standing tension between Diddy and 50, it's hard to see this as anything but intentional, adding another layer to an already complex situation.
He went after the baby mother of one of his rivals.
Exactly.
Someone who had been taking shots at him for years.
Absolutely.
On purpose.
And he went after her knowing that they had beef.
Right. And slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Just slutted her out.
Slutted out.
Having a whole basketball team run a train on her.
Totally
And
did. I
just
totally
the whole
agree.
thing, right?
Totally agree.
Right.
But his reputation from when he worked at Uptown, I'll be sure's girlfriend.
Oh, Kim Porter.
Kim Porter.
Right.
That's his reputation.
I'll be sure his baby mother.
Baby mama.
Yeah.
Then Eric Serm, his friend, the one that had his baby, Mia. So he's had a reputation of going after people.
Tupac's ex-girlfriend. He got a baby with her too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my point that I'm making to the men listening, well, if you don't understand this, then you're just poorly educated and don't really have common sense. It's a no. There's no way I would go after Vlad's ex-girlfriend.
Right.
I'm so loyal that if I met a woman and she said, "Oh yeah, I stay Vlad," I can't f with you, man.
Right.
I won't even put excuse my language, because that's how I move. Other people don't move like that, but you see me in Paris, you see me all over the world. Why would I want to do that to mess up?
While 50 Cent's documentary has been attracting significant attention and widespread praise, not everyone sees it as a clear win. Gan Deal has voiced sharp criticism, claiming certain parts of the project lacked originality and borrowed ideas he says were used without proper credit. According to him, these segments weren't based on new research, but mirrored concepts he had previously shared, raising questions about creative ownership. His remarks have stirred fresh controversy, shifting some of the focus from the documentary's success to how it was actually produced.
In the interview about, he said that he had a lot of footage had to be down, the documentary had to be downsized. You understand? I don't really believe that, because a documentary is a documentary, and they could have had 45 minutes, they could have had an hour, to each one of those. You understand? They left out certain things. He said they even left out the one about Sarah Chapman. You understand? And for whatever reason, he probably left out a lot of other different stars too. Situations that they could have spoke about. You understand? I I have a problem with the documentary, and I'm just gonna let you know that the reason I have a problem with the documentary is that they know that they took my idea. You understand? They know that when I came to them, I laid out what they should do and how the documentary should be. You understand? She could say whatever she want to say. I talked to those producers before I even talked to her. They wanted to know what I had, what I was bringing, my pictures, all that stuff like that. And I told them about me, Tim, and Kirk. You understand what I'm saying? And how it would go. They did the same thing. This ain't the first time they stole from me, man. You know, if you look at the Notorious Big, if you watch the Notorious Big, that part about the shoes, I had that in my book. And I was talking to K.O. Copeland. He was one of the writers of that movie. And I told him about when I let Big use my shoes at Soul Train Award. You had this old flunky ass dude, Mike B, get on Angie Martinez's show and talk about, yo, Big, he wore mixed max shoes and he went out there and performed. When you go look at the film, when you go look at Big performing that on that show, ain't nothing mixed match about them shoes. There was $800 Maury's, size 14D. Big World 14E. E means that his shoes is a little wider than mine. He struggled, but he put them on and he went out there and performed. Those was my Gators that he had on. You understand? They did a little skit trying to disrespect me in the movie. You understand? And they said something about,
He also weighed in on the buzz about 50 potentially releasing additional material online, suggesting that if more footage does surface, it might be unstoppable. Gene argues that if there were a way to shut the documentary down, it would have happened by now, which in his view reveals a lot about the current power dynamics behind the scenes. The fact that the documentary remains accessible speaks volumes, raising questions about how much authority Diddy truly retains and how much of his influence may already be waning.
Documentary, and if 50 do another one, and I heard he's gonna put it on YouTube or do whatever he's gonna do, Puff ain't gonna have nothing to do with that. Puff ain't gonna have nothing to do to try to stop that because he can't. Because if he could stop it, it would have been stopped. You know why he can't stop it? Because Puff know people right there at Netflix. Don't think he don't. And I don't know if this guy still worked for them, but he was part of the flavor unit, Shakim. He was part of the flavor unit. He was good friends. He was cool with Puff and them. Flavor unit and them, Queen Latifah and them, they was cool with Puff. If Puff would have sent the cease and desist over there and they could do it and he had the power and they wasn't right, they would have been done it. You see, it's still rolling, right? It's still going on, right? He ain't got that power no more. You understand? Now, could he sue them because they use his likeness or used him and stuff like that? I don't know. I'm not that versed in they using him. You understand? If they can steal your whole damn idea, your whole damn idea, why can't they steal your whole damn intellectual property?
Gene also discussed what he described as Diddy's long-standing fixation on Tupac, saying it wasn't just a passing concern, but something that shaped many of his decisions over the years. According to Gene, this mindset influenced how Diddy operated behind the scenes, affected his choices, and played a role in how he handled situations both personally and professionally, making it a defining factor in his approach for a significant period.
I did see the interview that 50 did with Sherry, and he was talking about he didn't release the video about Puff having a kid by Kim Porter's friend, Sarah Chapman. Now, we all know that she used to date Tupac. You understand? So either he got her because he wanted some remnants of Tupac. We don't know. But it seemed like every dude that he had some kind of disdain, dislike, or that he idolized in a sense, he wanted their girl. Or he wanted to be a part of their girl. I don't know why. Yo, bro, this dude was, I don't know if he was in love or in hate for Tupac. He wanted to be an actor. He auditioned for Juice. But Pac beat him out for that Bishop thing. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to be a part of that. Just go, and not so many years ago, when Puff started getting into that drugs and started using drug stuff, he started revamping some of Tupac's speeches. And if you think I'm lying, go look at the Grammy speech he did. Go look at a couple of speeches he did. It was the same exact words Tupac had said. That he was going to start this whole revolutionary of our people. That's Tupac. Black Lives Matter, the Black Liberation Movement, that was Pac. The Black Liberation Movement. Black Lives Matter? Come on, bro. This dude, everybody know that he had some kind of, I don't want to say disdain taste, but he had some kind of, I don't, jealousy of Tupac, bro.
However, the documentary isn't without its gaps. One detail that stood out to many viewers was how little focus was given to Kim Porter. As Diddy's longtime partner and the mother of his children, her role in his life was significant, yet her story was barely touched on. She passed away unexpectedly in 2018 at 47, with pneumonia cited as the cause, but her sudden death continues to spark public discussion and lingering questions. For many, her minimal presence left the documentary feeling incomplete and raised concerns about what remained unexplored.
Do you think that Diddy killed Kim Porter?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because of all the videotapes, because of the book, because of all the people she gave copies of her book to, or at least chapters, because of everything that she had on him, because of the tape that she used to blackmail him into a relationship and into a raise of him being sodomized by Andre Harrell. And I am not saying that allegedly, because I heard her and Kim Moore talking about it in the booth of the bathroom while snorting cane.
She had a front row seat to Diddy's life, from his personal relationships to business decisions and moments the public never saw. Yet the documentary barely acknowledged her. Multiple sources suggest her story was deliberately avoided, possibly because it was too sensitive or controversial. Gene, who knew Kim personally and looked out for her on several occasions, believes she knew far more than people realize. In his view, omitting her perspective removed a crucial layer of context, leaving the narrative feeling incomplete despite her central role behind the scenes.
Alleged that she did have a book and that her book was about to come out. And she was talking about all the perils, everything that she went through in the music business and with Diddy. All the men that they slept with together, because there were men that they slept with together. There were swinging times that they slept with together. I don't know, man. How do you put your girl through some shit like that? Or how do you look at your girl and knowing that she to another dude? What kind of demonic mind you have to be that far gone where that shit don't bother you? And got rid of them. They swimming with the fishes.
Wow, man. So she was about to expose all that in her book, them sleeping with men together.
She was going to expose everything. I heard it was tell all.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Just curious, right? Did you know that Diddy and Kim had that type of relationship back then in real time?
Yeah. Because I know somebody personally that lives in Atlanta that was swinging with them. And I would never mention his name because he's a good brother and he knows my family down there, you know. He knows my family down there, and I would never, put his name out there like that. He's been in the music business. He done put a lot of groups, A-listed groups out there, especially A-listed groups.
None of that insight made it into the documentary, which limited Kim's presence to a few photos, a brief mention as Diddy's children's mother, and then quickly moved on, a silence that felt striking given her central role in his life. For someone so involved behind the scenes, that omission left many viewers questioning what was left out. Mark Curry has also spoken about a troubling situation with Kim and Diddy, claiming Diddy monitored her private conversations and reacted angrily to anything he disapproved of. He recalled an incident where Diddy became furious over a phone call Kim had with producer Shakir Stewart, later confronting him publicly and creating a hostile scene. According to Mark, moments like this reveal a controlling dynamic that the documentary failed to address, raising further questions about stories that may have been intentionally omitted.
Other day, they just did a whole thing with the girl that he was dating was the one that was putting the wiretaps and all of that out. It was a clear case. She came, hey, I was the one who was doing the wiretaping and all of this, right? The tapping. So I knew about this before she came out and said that she was the one that was doing it. I was sitting there like, damn, he know everything she doing. He know her conversations. I'm sitting there like when I'm sitting there right there next to him, when I'm hearing them saying, this is what Shakir Stewart was saying to Kim Porter on the phone that made him mad. That made him so mad at Shakir Stewart when he went to L.A. Reid party, hit him with the chair. You don't think if he hit a man with a chair for dating this girl, they gonna have a fight at home too. You know what I mean? That's why, they say he busts her nose up on the boat. And have you ever been to Sandro Pay's see a brother play a mandolay? Remember that was in his song? I need a good woman next to me. So then it happened in what was it, Sandro Pay? Like that island. And then he bust her nose. They tried to make it seem like she slipped and fell. She slipped and fell and broke her nose. The truth was she slipped and fell and landed on his fist. Yeah, but that's what happens when you put your hands on females. I don't really have much respect for a man who's physically abusive towards women, man. I kind of think they be kind of suspect. I'd be like, man, girls fight.
This also seems part of a broader pattern, especially when examining how the documentary handled Diddy's famous parties. For years, these events were rumored to draw influential figures from various industries, yet the film barely touches on that. No major names or real details are shown, which feels odd given how openly those connections were discussed in the past, and how quiet many of those same figures remain today.
Thoughts on all the his celebrity friends that denounced those allegations and were like, this is false, and
Liars.
They were saying, yeah, should they speak up now?
It's getting a little too late for those who are complicit. Stevie J should be charged. Mary J. Blige should also be charged. Jennifer Lopez should definitely be charged. Jay-Z should be charged. Khaled should be charged. Rick Ross should be charged. Usher should be charged and tried with him. Or for Justin Bieber alone.
Jaguar Wright has also suggested that too much attention is placed on Diddy's music career while overlooking the influences that shaped him long before fame. She points to his childhood home, where his mother was often preoccupied with her own life and unfamiliar people frequently came and went, creating an unstable environment. Jaguar believes growing up surrounded by constant strangers can deeply affect the child's mindset and leave lasting impressions. In her view, these early experiences likely played a significant role in shaping who he became, long before the music industry entered the picture.
What he saw and what happened to him in his own mama house. All of those strangers, them up involved, looking around, seeing what was going on. And let's just be clear, it sounds like her house was a house of, professional freak offs. So who knows what he saw or what could have happened to him while she was busy entertaining people and pouring and getting tips, as she would say, for her after hour life.
Oh yeah. He was. I'm gonna say he was surprised to hear that.
School bus driver. No, was he surprised or was he like, zip it, you talking too much? Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like you talking a little bit too much. They don't need to know about that. While she was sitting up there, because I was a bus driver and I was this, and I worked at the after hours. And I would pour them drinks and they would give me.
Jaguar also noted that Diddy has openly expressed pride upon learning that his father was known for a risky, street-focused lifestyle, a reaction she finds very telling. In her view, embracing that image rather than questioning it highlights just how deeply those early influences shaped his mindset, values, and sense of identity, offering insight into how his past continues to resonate in his actions today.
In Sean's own words, in Diddy's own words, he had said he had a sigh of relief learning that he was the son of a hustler or a gangster. Like he wanted that status. He wanted to say that he was a sigh of relief is a wild thing to say, that your daddy was a gangster or a hustler. That's what you heard that he was.
Well, I mean, like Tim said, they had a bunch of blaxploitation movies being played around the house all the time. They grew up with the Mac playing. They grew up with Superfly playing. Like, I mean, if that's what you got going on, you got two women in the house and there's no men around, and these are what the little boys are watching. You got basketball players coming over late at night. You got hustlers coming over, PIMPs coming over, women who look like they were modeling for Jet Magazine coming over. Like, it sounds like the nature of the environment is what shaped their perception of what cool was. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure for him it was, oh man, that's who my dad was. So I'm sure for him, it made him feel good because all of that stuff that he was watching, he really came from that. But that was really his legacy. And yeah, I'm sure for him it felt good to know that his dad was this big hustler who turned out to be a snitch, who got his brains removed from his head in a very, very, very...
She connects that mindset to how hip-hop later celebrated similar figures, noting that many rap names and personas drew inspiration from old movie characters, symbolizing power, fear, and dominance. Jaguar believes Diddy didn't just admire that image from afar. He felt a personal connection to it because it reflected the environment he grew up in. According to her, that bond went beyond music or branding and shaped his self-perception. She also highlighted Diddy's unusual and unsettling relationship with his mother, suggesting there were deeper underlying factors that added an eerie layer to the story she was telling.
For the situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother, can you see that? Like,
yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question, what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn, I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video when he was talking about how his mom was still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And he was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms.
No.
It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
Jaguar believes the pattern comes full circle when examining Diddy's relationship with his own children, which she describes as deeply concerning. She says several sources claimed the kids were exposed to environments they shouldn't have been, raising serious questions about boundaries and responsibility. For her, the most troubling aspect isn't just the situation itself, but the silence around it, prompting questions about what kind of parenting allows that and why so many adults who knew chose not to speak up.
I mean, you know, it kind of goes into, I mean, he seems to be having, and again, I know the freak offs, that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just the to hear little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened, that they was all involved in, didn't happen. If Lori Harvey was hanging out, which, and it's kind of weird, like the whole relationship with Justin looks weird. He looks like Mini-Me with Dr. Evil. It's weird. Like, why are there people? Why is there sexual behavior going on? And why are people naked in front of their kids, G? Doing all kinds of stuff. And meanwhile, Misa's running around making comments about how she don't like the way that Eric Sermon was depicting her in the documentary. You don't like the way you're being talked about in the documentary. You don't like the fact that, because see, it wasn't Gene Deal, because Gene Deal said he wasn't there, and thank God that he was able to admit that. Kurt Burrows did say that he was there and present when Diddy was beating the brakes off Misa and putting the feet to her up under.
What other claims or revelations might emerge if 50 Cent releases a second wave of footage? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know what you think could happen next as this story continues to unfold.